Good morning, guys. It's been the weekend, a weekend of eating a crap ton of food that has countered the effectiveness of walking on this treadmill, and that's all right. We're back. And we're back for some more Ricky Gervais show. So we're doing episode 6 today, Cobblers. It's been a lot of fun hanging out with you guys, watching these. And man, let's just not waste that much more time. Let's just get into this because I freaking love Karl. I'm just gonna tell you right now, I can't wait for the diary thing to start because we've reacted to a few of his diary entries. I just can't wait for that to all start happening. But again, this show is just brilliant. The man himself is brilliant. It's all brilliant. It's all great. Let's get into this. Hit like and subscribe if you enjoy these.
Carl,
links
Joe
down below to see where to find me on social media.
What body parts can you live without? He wants to know. He's obviously having sleepless nights thinking about this.
What? So,
with a brain.
He's coped this far.
Yeah, I did a bit of an experiment on this, right?
Brilliant.
It's my job at home to wash up, right? Suzanne does.
She gives you all the really big responsible ones. Yeah. She sort of like pays the bills and wires the house, and you go, what can I do? And you can go, well, you can go and play with the worms in the garden.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's my job to wash up and that, right? And I thought to sort of make it interesting and stuff. I thought, I wonder if I can do it, right? If I didn't have any thumbs.
And so what did you do?
It's a good
So I just
question,
sort
though.
of
Sliced off your thumbs.
I just sort of held them in, and it's amazing how, like, it took me ages. Just having that one
just wanted
thing
to
gone.
try.
Well, it's part of our evolution, the opposable thumb.
Hey.
Basically, that's when we soared.
It's a good experiment. It's a really
These
good
are
experiment.
milestones in human evolution. The opposable thumb, the forward-facing eyes, the upright. These are massive things in taking us out of the animal kingdom.
And one day, Carl, you'll walk upright.
But what do you mean about eyes facing forward? You mean before we got here, there was people whose eyes were looking in their head?
So when you were doing this experiment, washing up,
Oh, man.
you say that you found it difficult. It took you ages. So you didn't just give up once you realised how essential thumbs were.
No,
You
I
actually washed up everything.
I just think of Suzanne walking in and Carl's there, just covered in water and very liquid suds, standing on a pile of broken crockery.
Yeah, plunging his face into the sink every 30 seconds and just swishing his head around.
But we talked about the washing up thing before, haven't we? And I sort of look out of a window, so the sink's in front of the window.
Yeah.
And that's why I quite like washing up, because I can just look out onto the street, see people going past. There's like a local homeless fella called Franco. You know, I look out, like he's all right and everything.
Sure.
But I was looking across the way, right, and there's some Chinese people who live in a flat, right, really small flat.
It makes
And they're up
sense
till all
why
hours.
they
I don't
sent
know
it
what
to
they're
China
doing.
for the first idiot of
But they
Friday.
decided to back up at about 3:30 in the morning. Right? They're always really noisy and that. But above them, there was some woman, right, who the sort of bedroom is on par to our kitchen, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sort of washing up,
Yeah.
and I sort of look across and see this woman with like, you know, no pants on and that, no bra and that.
Naked.
Yeah,
So
just-
she's naked.
That's the word
There's a
you're
for
looking
that.
for.
Yeah, she's just
Yeah.
wandering about, you know, on that. So I was like, oh, what's going on here? So I carried on washing up and that, right? And kept looking, and then I was looking and she looked at me. Right, so we made eye contact.
Sure.
So I was like, oh, God, right? So what I thought the best thing to do was sort of
Wave.
drop me pants a little bit. just a little bit, just like, you know, I had boxer shorts on and that. I thought if I just show
Why?
a little bit of sort of arse cheek, then it's kind of like, right, we quits. Right?
I don't understand the thinking.
So Suzanne's
Why didn't
watching
you
the
just
telly.
close
right? I
the
think she's
curtain or
watching Sex
something,
and the
bro?
City or something.
Yeah.
She sort of turns around to see how I'm getting on with the washing up, right? She sees me with like my pants sort of down a little bit with my arse out. She said, what are you doing? I said, don't look now. I said, but there's a woman over the road right? With no pants on and that. She caught me looking.
Why?
I'm just giving her a bit back.
Why did he think that was a good
I
idea?
love the fact that he explains the rules, and Suzanne's meant to go, okay.
That makes sense. But I don't. So hang on. So you showed a bit of your arse. You turned presumably to show the arse. Or
Well,
waggled the arse at the woman.
I had to lift it up a little bit on the on the draining
I just
board.
don't understand
Hang on
him.
though.
And I'd need
What
to.
did she
I
do?
want
Did
to.
you register her reaction when she
It's
saw a bit of your
glorious.
arse? What happened?
When she saw my arse,
Yeah.
well then I wasn't looking because I thought, in a way, I don't want it to look like, well, I've seen a bit of your stuff, here's a bit of mine. I just
Right.
thought, at the end of the day, I caught a glance of you,
It's only fair.
you've had a bit back. You know, I'm
You
not
see,
making a big deal out of
I
it.
genuinely think James Stewart missed a trick here in Rear Window.
Yeah.
This would have been, a much better film
gosh.
had James Stewart just popped his pants down.
It would have given a whole new meaning to the title Rear Window.
Yeah, exactly.
It's tricky though, I seem to be surrounded by people like that. Remember that film, that Sliver or something?
Okay, right.
When they've got video cameras.
Yeah.
I'm just looking onto everybody's world and just seeing what people are getting
Oh
up to.
my gosh, dude.
Nothing wrong with that.
Brilliant.
That's why I like washing up.
Oh, this guy.
We were talking
That's what
about
we get.
famous mantras and sayings and things.
Yeah.
Never has a mank said so much to so many that means so little.
Brilliant.
So you can have that on your headstone. Rupert.
Your little round headstone.
Rupert's in the Isle of Man. He says, I don't know if you knew this,
That was
Carl,
good observation.
but apparently octopus's testicles are located in their heads.
Yeah.
Wow.
But then, to me, that isn't that amazing because at the end of the day, an
How's it-
octopus, really, all it is an head. Isn't it?
So everything it's got has to be
It
in the
has to
head.
be in the head. It'd look daft if they dangled down
Okay, so
below. Right? So all it is, I mean, there's a lot
Hang
of
on,
facts. It's-
it'd look daft if they dangled down below. I'm wondering, but that could almost be the B-side to
B-side to
Knob at Night.
I could eat a knob at night.
Oh my gosh.
James Round says, Carl,
Sometimes he says
if
things
you
that are
could be
good
anyone in the
observations,
world,
though,
who would it
right?
be?
Dead or alive?
Why would you choose to be a dead person?
No, but sometimes like there's people who are now dead, but everybody raves about them. What I mean is, if
Oh, just answer the question. Who would you be and why? It's someone you
No, no,
admire
no.
or you think had a good life. Just answer the
but what
question.
I mean is, it's good to be remembered. Like Winston Churchill is remembered
Yeah.
as being a decent bloke, but I wouldn't want the asshole that he had. So I don't want to live his life,
Right.
but it's good to be.
You'd like to be Winston Churchill, but you'd like to have a paper round instead of...
Saving the world.
yeah.
That's what I mean. But is he saying whose job would I want to take on?
It's not that
The
complicated.
question is this: if he could be anyone in the world, who would Carl be? That's the question. That's all the information I've got.
A lot of responsibility on a lot of jobs, isn't they?
So, some of the names flowing through your head now.
Like, just answer the date
I was
question.
thinking Bruce Willis.
Answer it for you, by the way, in the comment section. What did he say? Sorry, I'm rewinding.
Bruce Willis.
That's a good one.
I never expected that. I never expected
That's a good
that.
So his responsibility in your mind is what? Saving people who are trapped in a building with terrorists?
Well, yeah, maybe his
I
worries
told
are
my
different.
wife, I
worries
feel like Die Hard is kind of
with,
overrated.
People who have a lot
Am I
of
going to
money
get cancelled for that?
come other worries.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So Bruce Willis, he's always going on these marches, isn't he, saying stop war and all that. Mainly because he's got more to lose if there's a war. He's got loads of houses. One of them's going to get damaged. Whereas if you're poor, you've got the one house. If there's a war, it's like, oh, just end it all for me. Then I'm sick of it anyway. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
So
Whereas Bruce, yeah.
with successful life and happy life, there's more for you to lose, is what I'm saying.
Right.
Like at the moment, because I've finished a job that I've been at for 10 years, right? I've finished working there, so suddenly I've got my timetable's a bit out, and I haven't got enough of a routine, and I'm a man who likes to know what I'm doing.
Oh,
Right.
man.
So now suddenly,
There's this dude at work where I work at. I won't say his name, but he was really good friends with our CEO, right? I work for a company called Qualtrics. We went public this year. And he was the guy who encouraged our CEO to start the company. So he's always been helping out. He's had like a big piece of the company, so he's just been making so much money. But his job is like in IT, I think. Like, all his job is just like if one of us starts, he brings us our computer and stuff. But that's his job, and he makes millions of dollars for that. That's the job in life I want.
5 until 7, washing up with no thumbs.
I've sort of turned into like an old person where the little jobs that you shouldn't enjoy are now the main event. So
But hold on, how old are you?
Okay,
You're
that I
31,
hear.
aren't you?
That I hear.
32.
32, and you're pottering around, not knowing what to do with yourself.
Well, like yesterday,
How-
Suzanne's shoes needed to go to the cobblers, right?
I haven't heard the
He looks
word
a lot
cobblers.
I didn't
older.
even
Huh?
know cobblers still existed.
I only ever see that in Christmas films made by Disney.
Well, I had to go and do that, and that suddenly...
Because last time you were going to the toffee shop. And now you're over to the cobblers. Next week it's the candlestick maker.
But all I mean is that suddenly is a nice little day out. I'm sort of
yeah.
putting my coat on, going, right, I'll go and see the cobbler now and go and have a chat.
Tell me about the
You
cobbler.
didn't come back with 3 magic beans, did you?
No, the cobbler's all right. He's doing, he's fixing
Cobbling.
shoes and that.
He's cobbling all day.
Have I told you about my Uncle Alf, who was a cobbler?
No?
Oh,
Sure, I told you
yes.
about him. He's the one who
like how they showed the
he lived
animation.
in like a bed sit, and he had 2 tellies. He had like one that the sound didn't work on,
All
and
right.
one that the picture didn't. But both together, it worked.
Oh, right, okay.
So as long as he was watching the same channel on both, sound came out of one telly, and he'd watch the picture on the other.
Brilliant.
And he slept in like a rubber dinghy, right? But he was.
Whoa! You can't just let that slide. Why did you even a rubber dinghy?
Wait, yeah.
He,
Poor
he
guy.
just liked boats and stuff, and he sort of.
Yeah, I
just
like
liked
boats, but they're better on
boats.
the water. Beds are better to sleep on. Boats are better to sail on.
Well, he just had it in there. It's a bed sit. It was really tight space.
Boat sit.
He's got this.
It's moved into a dinghy sit.
He's got this dinghy, so he's thinking, well, rather than it get in the way, I might as well use it.
Yeah.
Right? But he was a cobbler, and he used to like repair like.
I'm not
my
understanding
shoes
what a
and that,
cobbler
right?
is.
But he'd always sort of overdo them. Right. So
What do you mean?
like, do
Fancy.
you know like Pimp My Ride on MTV?
Yeah.
Because he does up shoes, he'd go mental on them.
What do you mean? There was the stereo.
Yeah.
Well, no,
There was
he'd-
horns.
he'd like-
That was a
Here
great
comes
show. I used to love
Alfred
that show back in the day.
Here comes Mr. Pilkington. He's got the fastest shoes in the land.
No, he'd just make shoes that would last forever. So instead of putting like one sole on, he'd put about 5 on. So it looked like one of them built-up shoes that you never see. He'd just put loads of stuff on. They'd last forever, but they did.
But they look like
I was-
orthopedic shoes.
Yeah, yeah. It just like suddenly I was like 6'7" whenever he'd sort of sorted my shoes out. But he's a cobbler, and it's work that's always there for you, isn't it?
I suppose so.
So you went out with to take Suzanne's shoes to the cobbler.
Yeah, so that's it. Yeah, so I just took him to the cobblers
Okay.
and that
Got
was
it.
like a nice
Now
little
it-
job
okay.
for the day. I got a leaflet through the door saying, if you want to walk a dog, the rates are good. I don't know what they pay and that. And I thought if I do that and get a paper round, 2 in 1.
Sorry, you just went from a job, right, where you were the head of production at a radio station, dare I say it, on... can I discuss your...
Well, it was an all right wage. Yeah.
It was very
But I
good.
wasn't happy, so it's pointless.
No, I know that, but to go from the head of a department on a lot of money to walking dogs and doing a paper round, I don't know.
No, but it's about being happy, isn't it?
I know, but that's commendable if
He
that's
has a
true,
point.
but okay.
And that makes you happy.
Well, I haven't walked the dog yet, but I'm just saying if I do,
My dream, by the way,
I mean,
I've
I'm
told
not
my
saying
wife,
it's
is to
raining.
retire early and become an
I'm
Uber
just
driver.
thinking if
I'm
it's a
not
nice sunny day and I fancy a potter,
I don't want to stop
I'll
working.
go round
but-
to her and say, well, how much are you paying? I'll take the dog a walk and
Sure.
stuff.
But I can't believe some of the words that have cropped up. Potter, cobblers, toffee shop. It's very, very strange.
I feel like
You
he's
live in
onto
Narnia.
something, though.
A lot of people are sort of emailing in sort of brainy stuff
Brilliant.
and getting a lot of stuff about philosophy
Oh yeah.
and all that.
Yep.
Descartes, that's another one that's mentioned on an email.
Descartes,
Descartes.
Yeah.
the French philosopher.
Yeah.
What's your question?
Well, he sort
lot of these
cropped
guys
up
are very
on an email. Someone
responsible
said,
for
what do you think of him?
beliefs
And I was
nowadays,
I don't
yeah.
know.
He famously he pondered his own existence, cogito ergo sum, I think, therefore I am.
Right,
He
yeah.
was thinking about that. He was thinking, how do I know all this is true, everything around me? And he thought, well, I can see it and I can smell it and I can hear it. And he went, oh yeah, my senses can be fooled. I could be dreaming. But if I'm dreaming, then at least I'm alive. At least I have some sort of consciousness. So if I'm even thinking about anything, I exist. I think, therefore I am. Cogito
Ricky
ergo
Gervais
sum.
is smart,
But
man.
we don't need
He's
to
well
know
read.
the Latin bit. Why is everyone always going back to Latin? It was ages ago. Why is that language always being... And were Latin people always in a rush? Because they seem to be like words for full sentences. Why couldn't they just take the time and say what they want to say? And it's just like, what was the rush?
to teach Latin.
What about Plato?
Right, Greek.
Right, now, would you say he's a bright bloke?
Yes, I would. I'd say he's a very, very bright bloke.
Right, let me tell you this. Right, he's that bright.
Oh, here we
Now he
go.
got killed,
No.
got hit on the head by an egg.
Fucking hell! Well, he's not so clever then, is he?
That's what I'm saying.
Boo!
What's the story with the egg?
Gosh.
He was on holiday or something, right? And
the way he's saying
He was on holiday.
In Greece, probably.
he was having a walk about, and a bird was flying over the sort of.
This
over the
bird
beach.
was what? A great auk? What size bird kills him with his egg?
It was a big one, yeah.
Was it?
And the way they used to crack
An ostrich on a hang glider.
the eggs open to let the kids out, they used to drop them on rocks.
What bird is this? Dropping its egg to let the kids out? You're a maniac! You are a maniac!
And Plato had a little bald head.
Right.
He
So
keeps
from
going
the
with a
top,
story.
the
He
bird's there
doesn't.
looking down, and it goes, oh, there's a little rock. I'll drop the egg.
Sorry, I have to pause the story because there's something inspirational of what Karl does here. He gets the zinger, and it doesn't phase him. He's onto something.
Hit him on the head, killed him. Now, this is what I was saying before about...
I'm letting too much go now because I'm so desensitised to his nonsense. I let him go. The bird saw Plato and said, "There's a rock down there."
Well, if these birds are killing people with bald heads, you've got to be terrified.
So, but listen, this is what I'm saying though, right? Before about knowledge and that how knowledge is hassle or success is hassle.
I think that was Newton. Knowledge is hassle.
Now, but why is Plato's intelligence got anything to do with the fact that this bird dropped an egg on his head?
Because he was intelligent and he's probably earning a nice few quid by giving out whatever messages he gave out.
Yeah.
He could afford to go on holiday to exotic places. If he was working in a factory, he wouldn't have been on this beach with big birds dropping eggs, is what I'm saying. So, in a way, it backfired. His knowledge killed him.
And that, I think, was Kierkegaard. His knowledge killed him.
He shouldn't have been on the beach. He was only there having a break or whatever from doing what he does. It wouldn't have happened.
This guy's
if he wasn't
amazing,
on holiday.
dude. Just when you think he can't say anything crazier, he does. How does this happen?
This is an email we've had saying, Carl, what
much water do you drink a day?
take by
Comment down
the,
below.
well-known saying, a
And
stitch
if
in
it's not
time
enough, let's
saves
do this
nine.
together.
A stitch in time saves 9. Yeah.
See, it's another one that I don't think I've picked up on a lot of these sayings that are being sort of thrown about willy-nilly.
Willy-nilly.
Willy-nilly. Okay.
Willy-nilly.
No,
The
but
odds that
again,
they're
one of
right
them,
there.
Like last week, I've heard of it, but
But what
I've
does
never-
willy-nilly mean?
It just sort of means, carefree.
That's right, yeah.
Right.
Okay, but
that's
what
good.
does a stitch in time
So
save
you
nine
understood
mean?
willy-nilly, so you
Willy-nilly.
used a
Yeah, but it
phrase.
sounds
you
nice,
used
doesn't
it,
it?
you said it willy-nilly, but you sort of got the gist of it. So what does a stitch in time saves 9 mean?
I don't know.
What do you
must
mean you
know.
don't know? Think about it. A stitch in time saves 9.
Is it to do with sewing?
Well,
I actually don't understand. I actually don't understand the
So
saying
if it's
either.
not that clear.
So if you got a jacket,
Yeah.
and the seam starts coming undone, oh, there's a little bit of seam. I'll leave it. Oh, it's getting worse and
Right,
worse. Soon
right.
your sleeve falls off. So you just need 1 stitch there. That'll do it. If you do it now, later you'll need 9 stitches, and that, of course,
got
is an analogy to other things.
But it depends if you're busy at that point, because if you've got something else that needs doing, that means
I
that isn't being
didn't
done
get
'cause
it
you're
either.
messing about sorting out a hole in your coat, is what I mean. Yeah. You can't always do stuff straight away. So maybe,
Right.
I don't know if there's a sort of a middle ground where you don't have to do it straight away, but stitching
A stitch sometimes
time,
today.
say in 15 or whatever, meaning you don't have to do it straight away, but just do it before it gets really bad.
Brilliant. Do you think yours is less poetic than A Stitch in Time Saves Nine? So yours is, this is what you...
Okay, look, I'm going to defend him. It could be the language thing for me, but there's a lot of sayings I didn't understand. I don't know if you're new to the channel. I don't know if I've even shared this with y'all. I was having a conversation with my wife when we were dating, and we were messing around, and she says, why, yada, yada. And I've never understood that saying. Mind you, I was a grown man when we were having this conversation. So I finally had the courage to admit, why, and I ask, why do people make that sound when they're fighting? And she's like, why I oughta? I'm like, right. She's like, why I ought to? And that's when I realized, oh, that's a saying, right? So I'm defending Karl here. It took me a long time to understand what why I oughta meant. And I didn't understand that saying either, so I'm defending my boy.
You want it to be a quote, right? Well, you could do it now, but if you're doing something else, then, don't do it immediately, but do it soon so it doesn't get really bad. Karl Pilkington.
No, but it's the same. That's the same way I treat most things in life. It's like I never go to the doctors unless it's really bad.
That is sensible. That is very good advice.
No.
That's brilliant advice for anyone listening. Never go to the doctors.
Unless it's really bad.
But that's why a lot of people, die because they don't want to bother the doctor, or they're mildly embarrassed, or they don't know symptoms, bad symptoms. Go to the doctor if you're not sure about something. Like you were terrified to go and have your prostate.
Still not doing it.
Why not?
I wish you wouldn't talk about it, because now Suzanne will listen to this and she'll go, oh yeah, you haven't been, and start dragging it up again.
But why are you worried about a qualified doctor?
I don't know what they're doing up there.
Putting his finger up your butt.
They just
what year are we in?
What are you talking about? They pop their finger up.
That's what I mean, though.
Why?
Why are they still using the index?
Tell me that there's a video of this. That they finally get Karl to do a prostate exam. Please tell me that's out there.
What, would you prefer the forefinger or the thumb, would you?
No, what I mean is, we've got...
Or a thumb on a stick, some kind of thumb on a stick.
Would you prefer it to
a
be...
mechanical thumb, a robot thumb.
Why isn't it just a little camera?
Well, they put the camera up if they initially discover something.
But just put the camera up straight away.
No, they don't need to. They pop the finger up, feel that the prostate isn't swollen, wiggle it around a little bit up your back passage. What are you worried about?
I don't think they need to do that.
Are you embarrassed? Are you embarrassed about being in a room with your trousers around your ankles and a little fella popping
A little bit, yeah.
Why?
And the other thing is, it's not just that, is it? So you go in there, they check your heart out and that, which to me is the most important thing, because that's what keeps you going, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right? You've got to go there. You're sat on the bus, stressing out, thinking, oh, in less than half an hour I'm going to have a finger up the arse, right?
What is the problem?
And they go in, they check your heart, they probably check your testicles and that.
What's up with that? They check your testicles, yeah.
Yeah, but it's all building, and you've sat there going, oh, soon that'll be happening.
Yeah.
And that's what puts me off.
So if they just came round when you were asleep, Suzanne just let them in and goes, he's over there, right? Yeah. And they crept up and went, bang. You go, what are you doing?
That? I just don't understand why they don't teach you how to do it yourself.
How can they? Wow! How can they imagine you
to
squatting in a corner,
sticking your finger
with one hand on your bollocks and the other finger up the arse, going, "It seems to be all right."
Karl, you don't understand the phrase "a stitch in time saves nine." I don't think you should be doing any kind of invasive medical research in your own human body.
But then
who knows what trouble you're going to cause?
No, but then at least
you would get stuck.
Yeah,
you would get stuck.
Suzanne would come out, your fist would be up your own arse.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Okay, I think it's probably time. Let me just check my watch. Yeah, it's monkey news time.
Yes.
Oh, chimpanzee, that's monkey news, yeah.
Oh, I can't wait. The last one was my favorite.
Anyway, it's more about tall buildings and stuff.
Oh yeah.
There was this bloke who was a builder.
Oh yeah.
Right? And you know what builders are like? They sort of move about, don't they, from sort of building to building, just building.
Well, yeah. Well, once they've built it, the building's done, and they move on to build some more.
Building, yeah.
Good observation.
So he goes to his next job and that, right?
Who does, the builder?
Right.
The builder.
Yep.
He goes to like the boss,
new building.
the boss
Construction.
of this building, who's building it.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And he says what unto him?
Do you need anything building?
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, he says, yeah, there's plenty of work and that going about.
Yep.
He says, we're working on this one here. He said, get going on it, like, there's your bricks and your cement and stuff, get on with it.
Yeah.
So they
any plans?
So they
Just build.
Just
just
build
build
it.
Yeah. Go up.
They're getting on with it and stuff. It's all going well.
Yeah.
But he notices that there's someone working high up. Right?
Oh, no.
On the top bit. So anyway, he's saying to like the other workers, he's going, who's that up there?
Who's that up
Like,
there?
He's working on his own.
The little fella, was he?
And,
The little hairy fella up there.
Who's the little hairy fella up there with the hard hat?
and the other fellas are going, look, don't ask questions. The boss decides who he takes on.
This is so
We're happy
good.
to be getting paid here.
Don't ask questions! Well, I'll see him when he comes down.
So he said, well, it's pretty impressive, the work rate he's doing, the way he's getting from one girder to the other.
I
He
can't
doesn't
believe him,
seem
bro.
to be scared of the heights or anything. He said, no, just let him get on with it. We work well as a team. So anyway,
What nonsense is
So-
this?
so-
He believes all this.
Yep.
so he sees the boss and he goes, that fella up there, who's the fella up there? He's pretty good. And he's like, look, just get on with the job. Yeah, I'll pay you. Let's just all
Like-
get on with our jobs.
Like
man."
they're keeping it like
Lunchtime
secretive.
comes, they're all sat on a little wall having the sandwiches. He's thinking he'll come down in a bit. He's just carrying on.
Is he just still going?
Still going on that, right? So the fella says to the boss man, he says, isn't that fella up there going to come down and join us for lunch? He said, like I said, mate, don't worry about him, right?
He's very secretive. I'm suspicious about this fella. I don't know.
Yeah,
why,
I don't know.
why
Yeah,
he's working
it's
for his
like-
lunch. I don't know why he's not scared of heights. I don't know why he's swinging from girder to girder. It's weird. Go on.
So he said, anyway, you've reminded me that he's up there. He said he's doing a lot of riveting and stuff up there. He probably needs some more nuts to...
Right, sure. And what kind of nuts is that? Is that nuts to food or?
So he said, what, nuts? He said, yeah, just there's a bag
Nice.
full of them there. Just put them on the hook, send them up, and he can get on with his job. So anyway, he picks these nuts up,
Nuts,
right?
yep.
Just hooks them on. He thinks they're not that heavy,
No.
considering, they're normally pretty heavy, aren't they? Like nuts
big
and
bag of
bolts and
nuts,
stuff.
yeah.
Big
So
way.
anyway, he has a little glance in.
Oh no, what's in there?
Nuts.
What, you mean nuts that you can eat?
Nuts that you can eat.
Oh.
Right? So they send the bag up, and he's thinking, what's all that about? He checks him out, starts to stare, works it out. You can see that he's a little chimp running about. So he goes, I'm not happy with this.
Why isn't he?
Because he's working for an organisation that's, there's unions for this sort of stuff, isn't there?
Yeah, he's not going, that's amazing. They've got a chimp riveting this building together.
Yeah.
that's
He's
not
like,
scary. He's
about
wondering
the
if they're
union?
breaking union rules.
So he
You
goes,
don't have to talk
So he goes and has a word with
he
the
goes
boss.
to the boss and he goes, look, I've worked out what you're playing at here.
Yeah.
He said, oh, them
Is
out
the
there.
boss sitting in a tyre?
So he goes, look,
Oh my
we're just all
goodness
trying to earn a
gracious,
living here.
bro.
He said, don't get involved in it. I'm happy to pay you, but I'm paying him. Don't interfere.
He's paying him.
And he's saying, look, I'm just not happy with this. It's not allowed. So the boss was saying, well,
We
to
pay
be honest,
peanuts. We get monkeys.
mate, he said, to be honest, mate, he's a great worker. He's known for doing what he does. He's a good grafter. If one of you's going to go, right, I'm afraid I'll have to let you go because he's
Blimey.
been here longer than that.
He was made redundant.
None of
because
that
the monkey.
happened.
He was laid off.
None of that happened.
He's laid off and that. And that's
No.
where that saying about, like there's a lot of tower blocks and that in America. It's like the chimp off the old block is where... So that's monkey news.
Every time I just can't believe that. Oh gosh. Comment down below. What did you think? What are your goals for this week? Besides Carl, besides Norm Macdonald Live, what else? What should we check out, guys? Send your ideas of what to react to down below. Links in the comment section. Yada, yada, yada. Really appreciate you guys, man. You all have a good week. Let's do this.